It's a beautiful afternoon, everyone, and I'm just so thrilled to be back at Bealtaine Cottage. It's lovely to go away, to go visiting, especially to visit people you love. But it is fantastic to come back home again, and especially here, because Bealtaine Cottage is all about peace and sanctuary and freedom. So it's just wonderful being back. And as with all going aways and coming backs, there's sort of renewed energy as well. So I got up early this morning and I started cleaning out shelves in the pantry and dusting and just generally, you know, getting some work done. And that felt good. It's very mild. It's quite warm actually. It must be somewhere in the 60s. And considering that this is mid-November, that's fairly unusual, I suppose. I've taken Jack out for a walk this morning. Jack! There you are, Mr. Jack. So we'll go for a little walk down through the fairy wood. All these lovely red stems now of the dogwood, the Cornus alba sibirica, are really making a big impact. It has been very wet. Been lots of rain. And that's not unusual because, of course, many of you ask me about the climate here in Ireland and, you know, does it snow much during the winter? It can get very cold and it can snow. And most winters we get a little bit of snow at the very least. And a week or two a week or two of snow at the very most. Although having said that, in 2010 and 2011 we had 6 weeks of snow. So that was unusual. So most everything that's at ground level keeps sort of green during the winter. In fact, you can see here still have some big luscious ferns, and there's a sort of a sedum growing over the ground here. And when the weather keeps this mild, of course, you'll get mushrooms. The mushrooms will keep coming. And then there's lots of lichens grow on the trees, you can see here. The beginnings of lichens, and lots of moss. So winter can be very kind. And with all the green and all the ivy, there's plenty of shelter for the birds. And if it does freeze really hard, which it can do, because many of the aquifers are so close to the surface, you know, there's a big pheasant gone flying out of the undergrowth because Jack has disturbed it. Come on, Jack! Jack! I don't think he chased it, he just simply disturbed it. Lots of pheasants here in the west of Ireland because it's quite wild. It's quite wild and free. If you journey up into Northern Ireland, much of the land is put to agriculture and is quite managed. It's very well managed, actually, I've got to say. Down here in the south, in the Republic, lots of land is left in pockets of sort of wilderness. So in that way it does support wildlife better, and also flora and fauna. I know, for example, with the primroses grow here in the Republic of Ireland all over the place. They're just growing wild everywhere. They're very abundant. But when you go up into Northern Ireland, you'll find that there is a great loss on them. You don't get a lot of primroses up there, simply because the use of Roundup, glyphosates, the poisons that are sprayed on the land, well, they're used a lot. And so anyone who's familiar with the use of glyphosates will know that not only do they kill everything on the land, but they actually kill the soil itself. So all the lovely kind of healthy bacteria, etc., is just killed, and it can take years to recover that. Jack! You can see now with the water from the spring well. The water from the spring well has carved a course for itself and is going right down to the stone bed. So here we have a little miniature waterfall, which is lovely. Of course, before I dug out that little well and released that pressure on the aquifer, that water was just seeping into the land. So now it's running free, and you can see it's just running underneath that bank and then out into what was the old ditch. You can just see it in there, flowing. So I'm on my way over to the post office now with the second batch of books and maps to be posted. So I won't stay long in the gardens. I might even make a little video when I come back. I've got to put the battery on charge, so... You can hear the sound of little twigs and leaves underfoot. Lots of birds here. Lots of berries there for the birds. Jack! Jack! Come here! Come on. Come on. Someone asked me about leaves on the driveway, why there were none. There are lots if you have a look. They've just been compressed by the wheels of the cars. You can see lots there in the middle and on either side. You see all the leaves? That's the forsythia. Probably the only time you get to see it properly because all the other foliage around it has died back. Someone also asked me about clearing the potager beds and could I make a video for them of clearing the potager beds. I don't make videos on demand, so you just take me as you find me. I hope that's okay with you because it's okay with me. Have a lovely afternoon, everyone.